Bang, bang, Southern Fried Gang. Bang, bang. Happy Sunday from your Southern Fried Gentleman of Southern Fried Sports, J.D. Wyatt, coming to you this evening. It's my pleasure to be here. Y'all let me know in the chat if we get a little spotty. My internet is being weird, but I had a few sports takes that simply can't wait until tomorrow. Don't forget GreenvilleSportsMedia.com, Arden's Burger and Grill, Beef and Rib, Hyundai of Anderson, Pepsi Cola, W Energy, South Florida Tribune. A lot of people that make this thing happen. A lot of people that we have connected with. We just hooked up Mark, my guy. Y'all know him. He comments all the time. We got him hooked up with the sideline photographer from Clemson. He's doing some school work, needs to get some experience. We gave Miss Susan Lloyd a little ring-a-ding-ding, and lo and behold, he'll be shadowing her this coming year. Tremendous stuff. You never know what connections or what might happen for you. But anyways, y'all make sure to hit like, follow, share, subscribe. Don't forget the sponsors. And speaking of liking and following and sharing, the news today was shared with everyone that LeBron James has opted in to his $52.9 million player option contract. I have thoughts. I am very, very intrigued by LeBron and opting into this contract. And the narrative and the storyline will be LeBron never took a pay cut to help out his team on salary cap issues. In fact, not only does LeBron mess up the whole salary cap being paid as a player, he messes up the entire salary cap by telling the GM to go get this player and that player and trade this and trade that. LeBron has never left anything better than he found it. Pensman, what's good, my guy? What's good, my guy? I was going to ask you, has LeBron ever left any team better than when he got there? Now, granted, he made a lot of them a lot better. No question about that. No question. LeBron is one of the all-time greats. No doubt about it. But this contract screams, I'm not taking any home team discount. I'm not taking any discount. LeBron truly believes that rings don't matter, like he told Steve Nash not too long ago. Pensman says LeBron left Miami cold. I mean, hey, a lot of people hate how he left Cleveland the first time. And then him going back to the Western Conference. Should have consulted me on that one. I could have told you that was going to be a terrible idea. He was the king of the East pretty much from the time he got there until the time he left. There's no chance I'm ever going west if I'm LeBron. But he wanted to go to Los Angeles. And then, like I said, here he is. $52.9 million. Knowing that roster needs development. I mean, great. Yeah, got Luka. He's in the weight room this year. Sure. Of course, Luka is one of the top 5 of all time. They still may not sign. Internet goes a little wonky. Y'all All right, bang, bang. I'm back. Maybe. There are 2 of me showing on the stage. Let's see if I can show a comment. Like I said, y'all let me know if you can't hear me. This is going to be quick anyways. I'm going to have to fly through these last few topics here in a minute. LeBron this, LeBron that. Shouldn't we just be talking about Mr. First Down and how you should go subscribe to him anyway? Yes. Yes, Mr. First Down. Y'all all go follow and share him. You can find him on X and YouTube. You got Pensman, Mr. First Down chopping it up. Mr. First Down, he is excellent. Kids are watching cars. I'm listening to sports. Good way to end a Sunday. Yes, indeed. That's exactly what we're doing here. I said that there were a few topics that just simply could not wait till tomorrow. LeBron was one of them in his contract. How can the man never sign for less money? I mean, he's set. Clearly. Obviously. How much would it hurt him to take a little, I don't know, $8-10 million, man? Help them get him another ring by building the roster. LeBron, man, love you. Love your game. But you got to take a discount. Smart players know it. Let's see what Matt Kraft says. I hope you meant Luka was top 5 greatest white dudes of all time. No. I don't even. I might have said that, but what I was saying was Luka might end up being there, but that wasn't even the point of the conversation. The point of the conversation was me basically saying LeBron opts in. He's never taken a home team discount. He's not even letting them help build to set Luka up for the future. I guess at the end of the day, you can Southern fry this opinion up to say, I just don't think LeBron is a team player. He has never left an organization better than when he found it. Pensman, thank you, sir. I'm coming in a little bit better now. Mr. First Down obviously heard me. Like I said, y'all go follow him. Y'all go follow this guy, Gamecock Chuck. Fantastic Gamecock guy, man. Not only that, just a good dude. Y'all go follow Gamecock Chuck for sure. Yes, LeBron would be 5-10. No. He's 4-6. So yeah, maybe you meant 5 out of 10, Pensman. If he goes and wins another one, that'll be his 5th. But yeah, he told Steve Nash that rings, he hates the ring debate. He compared it to Peyton Manning not having as many rings as Tom Brady. But at the end of the day, he is the one that said he was going to Miami and they weren't going to win not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He kept counting. He said not 1, not 2, not 3. He even used his fingers. And I guarantee you he's mad that he has the record that he has in the finals. But you can't come out here and tell us that you're not mad about it and that rings don't matter, LeBron. That's my opinion on it. I tell y'all, we'll cook anybody around here. Southern fried. We're going to get in and out of here tonight. So let's get these last few comments in on this subject. And then, Chuck, I got a good question for you, maybe. And then I got a sales pitch for NASCAR we're going to get to. So y'all stick around. But we're about to cash in on the LeBron, Lakers, all that stuff. All the NBA, about to go. He thought the Lakers would trade up to get Cooper, but they didn't. Bro, wouldn't that have just added to the narrative about how Dallas got the number 1 overall pick after trading away Luka to the Lakers in a trade that apparently nobody knew about? Not even LeBron. They all knew. And that's why the NBA let it happen, because they were going to reward Dallas with the number 1 pick. My guy Madcraft, who, by the way, I got a few videos from him. We're going to post them up on one of our next topics coming up. Let's see what he says about this topic. That's true, but he's always hated the NBA. It's all money and ring chasing. Can't even root for a team because it'll be totally different each year. I hear you, Matt Kraft, but that last point, because you can't root for them because their team will be different next year. Does that remind me of anything? Maybe the transfer portal in college sports. But I hear you, Matt Kraft. Good point. Too much player movement, and it drastically changes the landscape. Yeah, that's true. When you hear about an NFL trade, it's like an offensive lineman for a 4th-round pick. It's nothing like ground shaking, earth shattering. It's like the NFL. It's like, hey, we're going to allow you guys to do trades, okay? But they got to be like the coolest and the most subtle trades ever. So like nobody ever really hears about them. You know what I mean? Like that's how I feel like the NFL rules are on trades. They're just like, you can trade some people every once in a while. You know, check with the league office if there's something we want to make headlines about. We'll see about making that trade. Okay? But let's mostly just be like, hey, I'll give you this offensive lineman for a 58th round pick in 2035. Okay? Let's just be real cool about it. They shake hands, they dap up. The NBA, though, when they make a trade, phew, when they sign a player, it's ridiculous. I mean, James Harden, y'all. I think he's like 30. Gosh, I don't even know. How old is James Harden? 32, 33? I don't even know. He's old. But they just signed him to like $80 million. No. Pensman, that is true. Michael Jordan, he is still 6-0. And he has a higher batting average in minor league baseball than LeBron James will ever have. So go Michael Jordan. He 100% agrees, says Matt Kraft. JD, players on a 5-player squad can change everything, you know. I mean, shoot. Just look at what Luka and Kyrie did together last year. But anyways, I know most of you guys are completely uninterested in NBA talk. I had to say that about LeBron, though. Not a team player, will not take a discount. So I tell you what, we're going to reset. Y'all get some comments in. We've got about 15 minutes left, but that was your Southern Fried appetizer. Can you only imagine what the entree is that I've got cooked up for you this evening? All right, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you can still hear me, okay? Because I have the biggest sales pitch to NASCAR that I've ever had. Mad crap. I never got my sauce. I'm waiting on my refund. That is because the chef back here is preparing your sauce, and I'll send it out when I'm ready. And it comes with this entree, the Southern Fried entree that I told you about just a moment ago. And it is the biggest NASCAR sales pitch you will ever hear me do. As a matter of fact, there's a negative about NASCAR in this sales pitch. They failed tremendously in hyping up the NASCAR in-season challenge. NASCAR, you should have had this all over the place. I should not have been able to turn on my TV or my radio without hearing NASCAR in-season challenge. Single elimination, 32 drivers for $1 million. And a lot of people be like, well, it's just going to be the playoffs before the playoffs. And you want to know how I know that? Is because me, I am that dude. I put out the tweet the other day. And this is absolutely a fact. I know that there are people out there smarter than me. And I asked the opinion about the NASCAR in-season challenge. I had heard about it months ago, but then I literally just heard about it again like 2 days ago. So much to the point that I didn't even get to put in a bracket. The bracket was closed by the time I found out. And so I've been skeptical about this thing. Period. I was skeptical about it. But then I did some research, found out the details, What's cooking? What's happening? What's going on? Good evening, P Digits. We're right in the middle of this NASCAR in-season challenge talk, man. Literally, my father-in-law, y'all, watches NASCAR every weekend. Probably all 3 races most of the time. I'm about the same way. He didn't even know what the in-season challenge was. And that's not a knock on him. It's a knock on NASCAR. You didn't even market this and advertise it and pump it into the brain of the people who already watch NASCAR. And I applaud you for trying to get NASCAR into more living rooms. But you failed. It literally took me until 5 minutes before the race. And if you don't believe me, y'all, there's an article up on Greenville Sports Media right now. I said that the only way that Ty Dillon would beat Denny Hamlin would be if Denny Hamlin got wrecked or crashed out or had mechanical failure. Lo and behold, Ty Dillon, though, he got to say, hey, Denny fans, I just beat your favorite driver. And that's what this whole in-season challenge has brought that none of us knew about. They seeded 32 drivers based on the previous 3 races. They seeded them, and they are in a 5-race head-to-head matchup. It is literally March Madness in the middle of NASCAR. They got the playoffs coming up, but then they threw in this little bracket challenge where, oh, by the way, the winner gets $1 million. And then they brought it to Atlanta Motor Speedway, where Madcraft was. Literally, videos on my phone. We're going to share them on Southern Fried Sports. My guy had fantastic seats. It was an amazing race. And of course, I'm wearing my Chase Elliott hat. Easy for you to say, JD, your favorite driver won the race. No, man. It's not even because of that. Atlanta and this package that they've brought to Atlanta. Chef's kiss. I love it. Atlanta used to be either you could drive there or you couldn't. We would see most of the time 8, 10-second intervals, at least 3 to 5 second intervals between first and second. We got, of course, 2 of my favorite people in the world, P Digits, Gamecock Chuck. They are over here in the chat. Let's see what Madcraft says real quick. Let me interrupt my thought there for a minute. Madcraft says, dude, yes. I swear these leagues are awful at marketing. However, I wish they would have made the prize like 3 to 5 million. The All-Star race is 1 million. Why should a 5-race tournament be the same? That's fair. And you want to know why they couldn't do it any higher? It's because Denny Hamlin's crew chief, or sponsor, the reason that NASCAR couldn't give out that much money on this challenge is because Denny Hamlin's sponsor is National Debt Relief. And these teams, NASCAR themselves even, drivers, I mean, hey, they got money, but it ain't cheap running a NASCAR team these days. It is not. And that's why you got all these random sponsors and stuff coming in. So I don't think Madcraft that they could wrangle up enough money for it to be $3 to $5 million. You would have to have a sponsor do it, I think. What if, hey, you remember that promoter's caution from the All-Star race? What if they did that, Madcraft? What if a promoter came in and said, you know what, you want it $3 to $5 million they can win over these 5 races? I'll promote it, I'll sponsor it, but I get to call a caution at any point, anytime I want, during any of those 5 races. Bro, that'd be rough. My hat isn't loud enough to be a NASCAR hat. Where are the multiple colors wrapping around your head? No. I might can find a Jeff Gordon hat somewhere around here. Maybe. My wife, so I was a Tony Stewart fan. And because of Stewart Haas Racing, when Tony Stewart retired, I went to Kevin Harvick. And then my wife, when Jeff Gordon retired, she adopted Chase. And now that Kevin Harvick has retired, I've adopted Chase as well. Good to see all you boys in the chat, man. Good to see y'all. Jeff Gordon was great. Jeff Gordon gear. Man, yeah. Dude, I remember. The Rainbow Warriors, man. His whole crew had a name. Jeff Gordon gear hit hard. And then for the last topic of the evening, because we're about to skate on out of here. Speaking of hitting hard, speaking of skating, the Braves. I feel like they're skating. I feel like they're almost getting their balance every now and again. And then they fall. You know what I mean? You ever skated? You're trying to get your feel on them a little bit, and then just like one will shoot out from under you. I wrote the article today on Greenville Sports Media as well. Braves are consistent at being inconsistent. Not necessarily a bad thing. Not necessarily a bad thing being consistent at something. But they are consistently inconsistent. And today I did the math. Actually, before today's loss. So the math will be slightly different. But the Braves were 38-44, if I remember correctly. So now they're 38-45. In the article, I said that they have 80 games left. They now only have 79 left. And I said that they have to win 70% of their remaining 80 games, which would have put them going 56-24 over those 80 games. And that would have put them at a record of 94-68. That is right on the cusp of getting into the playoffs, depending on what some of these other teams do. What the Braves need to do, though, is just focus on winning 70% of their games. Will they make a trade? I don't know. Will it help them? I don't know. Will Jurickson Profar coming back help them. If they make it to the playoffs, he won't help them there. So I don't know. But can the Braves be consistent at being inconsistent? That I do know. That is one thing I know for certain. But y'all make sure, I got a couple of articles up on Greenville Sports Media. Y'all make sure to check them out. Matt Kraft said I made a good sound, man. Hey, I don't know how, but I did it. Psh, psh, we about to get out of here. Psh. You didn't say over. Psh, we're about to get out of here. Over. This show is about to be over. Can't agree about that. Or can't disagree about that, Matt Kraft says. Not a bad thing. Completely true. But listen, y'all, hey, we're going to get out of here. Time to eat dinner. Y'all have a great week. I just had to share those opinions. NASCAR. I gave you a sales pitch for the in-season challenge. They even had Ludacris do an intro. And still couldn't. That's a good question, P Digits. I know they're 9.5 out in the East. I would say 5 to 6 games out of a wild card, at least. But I don't know that for sure, and I'm not going to look it up right now. No offense. No. I'm not worried about the playoffs. No. I was just saying what the Braves need to do to get there. I don't know that they'll get it done, Chuck. I don't know if they'll get it done. No, I'm just worried about making it to the playoffs. So, yeah, like I said, they have 80 games left. I think winning 70% of them gives them a really good chance. But based on how consistent the Braves are at being inconsistent, I don't see them winning percent of the time the rest of the year. Wow. They're 8 games back in the wild card. Dude, the NL is ridiculous. There's only 2 teams worse than the Braves as of a couple of weeks ago. The Marlins, the Rockies. Everybody else was tied or above. So they have a lot to come back from. And yeah, P Digits, I appreciate you. I usually can't answer my own questions. A lot of you are smarter than me. Yeah. And like I said, the biggest concern is they need a lot of winning. All the Mets have already helped them. The Mets are like 3-12 in their last 15 games. You got to capitalize. You can take a horse to the water. Can't make him drink. The Mets took the Braves to the water. And the Braves wouldn't take a drink. They just lost 2 or 3 to the Phillies. One of them was 13-0. I just don't know that the Braves can get it done to make it to the playoffs. But anyways, I'm getting out of here. Y'all have a great evening. Appreciate you being here. Y'all be blessed, not stressed. Just be kind to one another. Dang it. Good night. Bang, bang.